Well, hello there, patron, and thank you for your support. Today I'm going to reveal mystery car number 8. And, well, let's see if you can figure this one out before I open the garage door. Number 1, it has a V8 engine that produces 485 horsepower and 475 pound-feet of torque. It has 6.4 liters and an optional TorqueFlite ZF8 automatic. To give up? Here we go. That is the Challenger RT Scat Pack. Now, it's not quite the Hellcat, but it is, as far as the hierarchy, pretty far up there. I'd say it would be number 4 on the list. So you have the Hellcat, and then you have the SRT, and then you have the RT Scat Pack. You have some shaker models and this and that, but as far as the V8s go, this one's $40,000. So can't beat that. It's got some great touches to it. Massive wheels. These are actually 20-inch wheels, and they look fantastic. Although, personally, a lot of weight there. That's a lot of weight. They have 4-piston Brembo brakes. The SRTs have 6-piston. Not big of a deal because these actually have a really good bite. You can see they're slotted as well. Here's our badging. Pretty cool. It's good to have. I always thought it was going to be coolant goes in there. And as far as the back, it's a 1970s design. They just kind of reincarnated it. As far as the interior, it's definitely not 1970s in here. Really cool gauge setup. And this has the optional navigation system, which includes Uconnect. And obviously we have a sport button here and a Super Pack track button where you can set up your different modes for things like launch control and whatnot. I don't know why the camera won't focus there. Anyway, the interior's very big. I'm not a fan of these seats. They seem to have a lot of support down below, but not too much up here. And actually the headrest feels like it's a good 4 inches away from the head. So you could see the way the seat back and the headrest are just a straight line down. Well, not very comfortable, but let's get into the back. A little bit roomier than a Camaro. Obviously there is some leg room in here, and we have rear vents, which is nice to have. And an armrest, which is also nice to have. This is basically weird. We have LED lights here, but no LED lights here, which is kind of weird. And this is the trunk, very large, very roomy, very clean actually, very nice design. And if I open up, we can see another storage compartment. We have an air compressor, so there is no spare tire. And the battery, which is very large. This is actually a nice molded and very stiff trunk bed as well. It's not some cardboard crap that you see on some vehicles. Of course, we have push button to lock, and you just touch the bottom, door unlocks. So let's go for a ride. Now, of course, I have keyless ignition, keyless entry, all that other stuff, but what's important here is the way it sounds when you start it up. And it's not that cold out, it's about 60 degrees, but it's the first time I'm starting it for the day. It is the afternoon. It's the life of Brian. I'll keep the door open when I start it. I got my seatbelt on so the door chime doesn't go off. And we'll see what it sounds like. Ready? it's still cold, but that's kind of the best time to drive a V8. Obviously I gotta warm it up now, so we gotta go around the block. Now the suspension in this one is your standard setup. It doesn't have any adjustment. Ooh. You can't adjust it like you can in the SRT. So while this is a $40,000 V8 monster, I think it's a bargain. It's a bargain for the price, because you're getting a 6.4 liter V8 that has, in my mind, a square output, which means that the torque and the horsepower are relatively the same square output. So it's not like on an x-axis you have twice as much torque as you do horsepower like you would in a diesel engine. In this V8, it's naturally aspirated. And it just sounds great. Of course, the tires are cold, so I'm not going to obviously drive quickly out of a turn. I don't want to pull a Carson Coffee. But basically, the ride quality in here is very stiff, and the seats are very stiff. So personally, it's not my favorite ride. And another reason why it's not my favorite ride is because I'm not really a fan of the 1970s. Actually, I am not a fan of the 1970s. So I do not approve of this look. Although a lot of people fall in love with it, others completely hate it. I fall into the latter category, mainly because I don't ever want to relive the 70s. Not that I was living through the 70s, it's just that I'm not a fan of the 70s. It's like the afterbirth. Now that's normal. If I put it in sport mode, the exhaust note changes, and the shifting is adjusted to different parameters. And of course, there are different throttle mappings. I don't know if you can even hear me at this point. It is that loud in here. That exhaust is freakishly loud. It's so droney, it makes my ears ring. So I can't really ever use it in sport mode. And then as far as handling, it's a large car. Some people would call it a GT, and I would agree with that. But at the same time, it's so rough and so loud, it's not really a GT. So I've had it for a week. My review is coming out very soon. And thank you very much for your patronage. This is your sneak peek of Mystery Car number 8. Let me know what you think of this whole series of mystery cars and the reveals. Since this is the first one, you get first dibs on telling me what you want to see, what you don't want to see, what you want to know, what you don't want to know, because I figured I got the car, it's sitting in my driveway, I might as well do something with it.